title, Whispers in the Machine. The dilapidated arcade stood as a relic of a bygone era, hidden in the shadows of towering skyscrapers. Intrigued by its retro charm, I pushed open the rusted door, and a musty scent, a blend of old carpet and aged electronics, greeted me. The neon lights flickered overhead, casting a sickly glow on the worn-out carpet. I ventured deeper into the arcade, passing rows of forgotten games that had once echoed with the laughter of children. The atmosphere hung heavy with nostalgia, but an unsettling undercurrent of something darker lingered in the air. The hum of the old machines sounded like distant whispers, as if the ghosts of players past were trying to communicate. My eyes settled on a dusty cabinet tucked away in a corner, its marquee reading Spectral Shift. The game's graphics were outdated, depicting ghostly figures navigating a haunted mansion. Intrigued, I slid a few coins into the slot, and the screen flickered to life. The game plunged me into a spectral realm, the pixelated mansion mirroring the decaying arcade around me. As I guided my character through the haunted corridors, a shiver ran down my spine. The air became charged with an eerie energy, and I couldn't shake the feeling that I was not alone. As I progressed through the levels, the boundary between the game and reality blurred. The flickering lights above mimicked the spectral glow on the screen, and the sound of footsteps echoed in sync with my character's movements. The arcade had transformed into a haunted playground, and I was a player in a game where the stakes were far higher than a high score. Whispers echoed through the arcade, indistinct yet laden with sorrow. The ghostly apparitions of children flickered in and out of existence, their laughter echoing through the empty space. I tried to pull away from the game, but an invisible force seemed to anchor me to the machine, compelling me to uncover the secrets within. The spectral figures led me to a hidden corner of the arcade, where an ancient machine stood covered in a dusty tarp. As I approached, the whispers grew more pronounced, telling tales of unfinished games and restless spirits. With a hesitant hand, I removed the tarp, revealing a vintage fortune-telling machine named the Oracle. The machine rumbled to life, its mechanical gears creaking as a misty curtain enveloped me. The air grew colder, and a haunting voice emerged from the depths of the machine, predicting a fate intertwined with the ghosts of the arcade. It spoke of an ancient curse, a pact made in the heyday of the arcade's popularity. The curse bound the souls of those who had once reveled in the joy of gaming, trapping them in a limbo between the real world and the digital realm. The Oracle revealed that only by completing the forgotten games and appeasing the spirits could the curse be lifted, freeing the trapped souls and restoring balance to the haunted arcade. Determined to break the curse, I returned to Spectral Shift and faced increasingly challenging levels. The pixelated ghosts on the screen seemed to react to my every move, their silent pleas urging me forward. The arcade itself groaned as if awakening from a long slumber, its flickering lights dancing in harmony with the spectral energy. With each completed level, the whispers grew louder, recounting tales of unfinished games and the shattered dreams of the arcade's patrons. The apparitions of the children became more tangible, their faces etched with both sadness and gratitude. It became clear that I was not just a player but a savior, tasked with releasing the arcade from the grip of the ancient curse. As I delved deeper into the game, the haunted mansion on the screen transformed into a pixelated reflection of the arcade itself. The spectral figures guided me through the final level, where the barrier between the digital and real worlds wavered. In a climactic confrontation, the pixelated ghosts merged with the apparitions in the arcade, creating a vortex of swirling energy. The Oracle's haunting voice resonated, urging the spirits to find peace and move on. The air crackled with a potent mixture of nostalgia and sorrow as the curse that had bound the arcade for decades began to unravel. A blinding light enveloped the entire arcade, and the whispering voices gradually faded. When the light subsided, I found myself standing in the now silent arcade. The machines were still, the flickering lights replaced by a soft, steady glow. The once haunted atmosphere had transformed into a serene stillness, and the ghosts had found their long-awaited peace. As I exited the arcade, a final whisper lingered in the air, a collective thank you from the spirits who could now rest. The rusted door creaked shut behind me, and I walked away, leaving the once haunted arcade behind. The neon lights dimmed, and the building blended back into the cityscape, its ghostly secrets now a part of the past. Title: Pixelated Shadows. The flickering neon sign above the arcade entrance spelled out its name in faded letters, Arcadia Haven. Intrigued by the promise of a haven within the retro-pixelated landscape, I pushed open the heavy glass door and stepped into the dimly lit space. The rhythmic beeping and electronic melodies of old arcade games greeted me like a nostalgic symphony. The air inside was tinged with the scent of ancient electronics and the excitement of countless gaming sessions long past. Rows of vintage cabinets lined the walls, each one a time capsule from the golden era of gaming. As I meandered through the aisles, drawn to the glow of the vintage screens, an unspoken tension hung in the air. My eyes fixated on a game tucked away in a corner, Ephemeral Echoes. Its marquee depicted shadowy figures in a haunting dance beneath the moonlight. As I approached, a sense of foreboding gripped me, but curiosity urged me forward. I inserted a token into the slot, and the screen came to life with a pixelated glow. The game transported me to a world of pixelated moonlight, where shadows moved with a life of their own. The objective was simple: navigate through the labyrinthine levels and uncover the mysteries of the pixelated shadows. Yet, as I guided my character, the atmosphere in the arcade shifted. The fluorescent lights overhead dimmed, casting elongated shadows that seemed to dance to an otherworldly rhythm. The electronic melodies of the surrounding games morphed into haunting tunes that resonated with the ghostly whispers of the arcade. It was as if the virtual shadows on the screen had found a way to seep into the physical realm. As I progressed through the levels, the pixelated shadows began to mimic my movements, creating an uncanny synchronicity between the game and reality. The whispers in the arcade grew more audible, carrying tales of a forgotten incident that had cast a pallor over the haven of gaming joy. The ambient tension escalated, and I found myself entranced by the game, unable to tear myself away. The boundaries between the digital and physical worlds blurred, and I became acutely aware of a presence lurking in the shadows of the arcade. The once faint whispers transformed into desperate cries, pleading for release from an unseen torment. In a daring attempt to break free from the game's grasp, I pressed on, determined to uncover the truth behind the pixelated shadows. The arcade itself seemed to respond to my progress, its flickering lights and electronic hums pulsating with an otherworldly energy. As I delved deeper into the pixelated labyrinth, the shadows on the screen took on distinct forms, ghostly silhouettes of figures caught in perpetual sorrow. The virtual moon cast an ethereal glow on the sorrowful visages, each one carrying the weight of an unresolved past. The whispers now coalesced into a haunting chorus, recounting a tragic incident that had unfolded within the arcade's walls. A group of friends, bound by a shared love for gaming, had met a grim fate during a marathon session of Ephemeral Echoes. Their shadows, forever trapped in the digital realm, sought solace and redemption. Compelled by a sense of duty, I guided my character through the final level, where the virtual and real shadows merged into a pulsating symphony of sorrow. The game's climax unfolded, revealing the truth behind the haunted haven of Arcadia. In a pixelated cutscene, the ghostly figures converged, reaching out toward a central point. A pixelated portal materialized, bridging the gap between the digital and physical realms. The whispers crescendoed, merging with the haunting tunes in the arcade, creating a spectral harmony that resonated with both sadness and liberation. As the portal widened, the pixelated shadows surged forward, converging with the physical shadows in the arcade. The once dim space erupted in a blinding light, and a chorus of fading whispers echoed through the air. The arcade seemed to breathe a sigh of relief as the shadows dissipated, leaving behind an eerie calm. I stood alone in the now silent arcade, the game screen displaying a message of gratitude from the liberated shadows. The once flickering neon sign above the entrance stabilized, casting a steady glow over the haven that had been haunted for so long. The spirits of the lost gamers had found peace, and Arcadia Haven was now a sanctuary free from the pixelated shadows that had lingered for decades.
Title: Spectral Harvest. Thanksgiving night settled over the centuries-old farmhouse, casting long shadows on the worn floorboards. The aroma of a traditional feast permeated the air, but the warmth of the hearth did little to dispel the chill that clung to the ancient walls. As the family gathered around the table, little did they know that the past would join them for a spectral Thanksgiving. My name is Emily, and I inherited the farmhouse from my grandparents. Eager to celebrate Thanksgiving in the home that held generations of memories, I invited my extended family to join me for a festive evening. The old farmhouse, nestled on the outskirts of a quiet town, exuded a timeless charm that belied its haunted history. As the family exchanged laughter and stories, a faint whisper echoed through the rooms. I dismissed it as the creaking of old timbers, but a sense of foreboding lingered. The ancestral portraits lining the walls seemed to watch with spectral eyes, witnessing a reunion that bridged the gap between the living and the dead. As the night wore on, the whispers grew more audible, transforming into ethereal melodies that danced through the air. A cold breeze swept through the dining room, extinguishing the candles and leaving the family in momentary darkness. When the flickering flames returned, so did the apparitions. A ghostly figure, dressed in the attire of a bygone era, manifested at the head of the table. The family fell silent as the specter extended a translucent hand, gesturing for them to partake in the feast. Fear and fascination intertwined as the ghostly apparitions of long-lost relatives materialized beside their living counterparts. The room became a tableau of the past and present coexisting, a spectral grandmother carving an ethereal turkey, a ghostly child playing with unseen toys. The living and the dead shared a Thanksgiving meal, separated by the veil of existence but united by the bonds of family. My family, initially paralyzed with fear, soon embraced the surreal experience. Conversations transcended time, with the living learning from the wisdom of their spectral ancestors. Laughter and tears intermingled, blurring the lines between the corporeal and the ethereal. As the night progressed, the ghostly interactions intensified. An old piano in the corner played haunting melodies on its own, guided by unseen hands. Shadows of ghostly dancers twirled in the moonlit corners of the farmhouse, echoing the joyous celebrations of Thanksgivings long past. In the midst of the spectral communion, the air became charged with emotion. The ghosts conveyed messages of love, regret, and unfinished business. Tears were shed and forgiveness exchanged between the living and the dead. It was a Thanksgiving unlike any other, a reunion that transcended the boundaries of life and death. As the clock struck midnight, the ghostly figures began to fade, their ethereal forms dissipating like morning mist. The room, once filled with the echoes of spectral laughter, returned to a quiet stillness. The family, left in awe and disbelief, exchanged glances that spoke of an otherworldly experience that defied explanation. The farmhouse, now silent, bore witness to a Thanksgiving that bridged generations. The living, humbled by the ghostly interactions, felt a renewed connection to their ancestral roots. As my family departed, the old farmhouse seemed to exhale a sigh of contentment, its walls echoing with the remnants of a Thanksgiving celebration that transcended the boundaries of time and mortality. And so, the farmhouse stood as a testament to the enduring power of family, where the living and the dead could come together for a spectral harvest, a Thanksgiving that would be etched into the tapestry of the past, present, and the haunted echoes of an old farmhouse that held the memories of generations gone by. Hey, horror enthusiasts! If you've been enjoying the bone-chilling tales and heart-pounding stories we've been sharing, do me a solid and hit that subscribe button below. Join our community of thrill seekers who can't get enough of the dark and mysterious. By subscribing, you're ensuring that you never miss out on the next spine-tingling tale. Trust me, you won't want to be in the dark when the next horror story drops. Hit subscribe and let the nightmares begin.